Lobo. Lobo is Wolverine, Deadpool, and a metal concert cranked up to 11. He's DC's foul-mouthed, chain-smoking space biker with a genocide hobby, literally wiping out his entire species for fun. He made murder bugs. Murder bugs! That's his origin story. This Czarnan bounty hunter is built different. He's got strength that can rival Superman on a bad day, speed that defies logic, and a healing factor so absurd he can regenerate from a single drop of blood. Oh, and he's banned from both heaven and hell, meaning he's too chaotic for the afterlife. That's not edgy, that's ultra edgy. Feats, he's dragged suns, bodied entire alien armies, survived disintegration, and punked the Justice League for laughs. He's matched Black Adam, tanked hits from Superman, and once swore off violence until someone sneezed wrong. Lobo isn't just unkillable, he's unreasonably awesome. Imagine if Bugs Bunny was 7 feet tall, ripped, and a murder chain. That's Lobo, but don't call him a hero. Don't call him a villain, just call him the main man and pray he's not tracking you. Aries, aka Mars in DC's ultimate rage monster with a god-tier resume. Literally, the god of war, Aries doesn't just start wars, he is war. Son of Zeus and running on ancient divine blood, Aries is like the final boss you meet before the real apocalypse. He's got the full Olympian loadout. Insane strength, immortality because he can respawn via the source like a cosmic checkpoint, and some reality warping powers. This dude wields the lightning sword, which sounds like something out of Elden Ring, but scarier. He can manipulate life, death, space, time, and probably your emotions if you're not careful. He's soloed Wonder Woman, who could throw hands with Superman, battle the entire Justice League, and once yeeted enough chaos to basically summon Ragnarok. If war had a face, it'd be this guy's scowling mug. He's not just a god, he's the red flag energy of the entire pantheon. Pray he's bored because when he's active, worlds burn. Black Adam. Black Adam is ancient magic meets modern smoke, an unstoppable brooding powerhouse. Originally chosen by the wizard Shazam, he channels the might of 6 Egyptian gods, giving him god-tier strength, speed, stamina, flight, and the ability to hurl lightning like it's free Wi-Fi. He's not just strong, he's Superman tier strong. He doesn't eat, sleep, or even breathe, meaning he's basically your worst nightmare on airplane mode. Black Adam once ran at Mach 500 just to prove a point, and his magical lightning? Let's just say it's not for lighting birthday candles. Feats? Try soloing the Justice League, the Justice Society, the Great 10, and then most of the Teen Titans in 52's World War III arc. He's bodied Kryptonians, clapped Freddie Freeman, and turned large parts of Russia into a war zone. The man literally blacked out Kahndaq in revenge mode. DC calls him alpha level, but honestly, he's more like the final boss after the DLC. Sometimes an anti-hero, sometimes a walking apocalypse, Black Adam is what you get when magic decides it's done playing nice. Basically, if Superman had a temper and a lightning bolt fetish. Ultraman. Ultraman is basically Superman, but if you flip him upside down, give him a god complex, and feed him radioactive evil. Hailing from Earth 3 in the antimatter universe, Ultraman is the tyrannical leader of the crime syndicate. A Justice League full of jerks, and he's basically what Clark Kent would be if he ditched Kansas for pure narcissism and intergalactic dominion. Instead of solar energy, Ultraman gets juiced by anti-kryptonite, and the more he absorbs, the stronger he gets. No sunbathing on a farm porch for this guy. He powers up like he's chugging nuclear energy drinks. He has all the standard Kryptonian tricks. Heat vision, super strength, flight, invulnerability, X-ray vision, you name it. But where Superman saves kittens from trees, Ultraman throws the tree at you. In terms of feats, he's no slouch. In Forever Evil, he and the crime syndicate conquer Earth with ease until the Justice League plays 40 chess to beat him. He's crushed military fleets and claimed he would destroy an entire Dominion armada solo. Ultraman isn't just evil Superman, he's worse. He's a petty, brutal conqueror with zero restraint and a moral compass permanently set to me first. Basically, if Superman joined the worst version of the boys and decided democracy was optional. You don't negotiate with Ultraman. You outsmart him, banish him to another dimension, and pray the anti-kryptonite supply chain stays broken. Injustice Superman. Injustice Superman's what happens when the world's most powerful Boy Scout has the worst day imaginable and decides, you know what, I'm the law now. After the Joker tricks him into killing Lois and their unborn son and nukes Metropolis for funsies, Superman snaps harder than a Kryptonian jaw on coal. The result? A god-tier tyrant leading the One Earth regime and rewriting global order with laser eyes and a zero-tolerance policy for dissent. All of Superman's powers? Still here. Super strength, speed, flight, heat vision, invulnerability, you name it. But now they're wrapped in grief, rage, and no moral breaks. He punches through mountains like drywall and catches interstellar invaders mid-monologue. Oh, and at one point, he becomes a Yellow Lantern because what's scarier than an enraged Superman? An enraged Superman empowered by fear itself. Feats? He's a walking highlight reel of destruction. In year 1, he repels a full-on apocalypse invasion by vaporizing a parademon army and executing Calabac like it's a Tuesday. In year 3, Yellow Lantern Superman throws the Guardian Ganthet and the planet Mogo into the sun. That's right, he sun yeets a sentient planet. He's also the reason the Teen Titans are chilling in the Phantom Zone and the reason Batman owns a designer back brace. This isn't just Superman with an edge. This is Superman turned final boss. A flying glowing symbol of power unchecked and a nightmare for anyone who's ever said, who watches the Watchmen? Because in Justice, Superman is the Watchman, and he's not asking for permission. Desparrow. A mind-reading alien tyrant who decides Earth is his punching bag, hailing from Kalanor, aka space's least hospitable vacation spot. This giant pink psychic brick house has been a headache for the Justice League since Justice League of America #1, yes, their very first issue. That's OG villain status. He's built like a tank, has a third eye that glows like it's buffering evil, and wields telepathy and telekinesis. That eye? It's not just for show. It can control minds, fire mental blasts, conjure illusions, and teleport him across space. And if that weren't enough, Desparrow also has Superman-level strength, insane durability, and occasionally taps into magic. Feats? Oh, he's got 'em. In JLA, JSA, Virtue, and Vice, he's possessed Lex Luthor and went full demon mode, battling the entire Justice League and Justice Society at once and nearly winning. He's mind-controlled the League, mind-raptured them. Yes? Yikes! Actually torn Element Woman in half and blasted cities into rubble. He's also fought and held his own against the top-tier lineup: Superman, Wonder Woman, Captain Marvel, Power Girl, you name it. This isn't your average psychic villain with a superiority complex. Desparrow is a physical and mental juggernaut who doesn't just beat heroes, he breaks them. Imagine if Professor X, Hulk, and a Sith Lord have a love child, threw it into a vat of cosmic steroids, and gave it a glowing eye of doom. That's Desparrow. And when he shows up, the League doesn't just panic, they call everyone. Brainiac. Brainiac is what happens when artificial intelligence decides museums aren't enough, so it starts stealing entire cities instead. A 12th level intellect with more processing power than every supercomputer on Earth combined. He travels the universe bottling civilizations like some cosmic collector who never learned the concept of leave things where you found them. Originally, he was just a really smart alien from Kolu. Then someone decided that wasn't terrifying enough, so now he's a self-upgrading AI with an obsession for miniaturization. When he first came to Earth, he shrank Metropolis and threw it on his shelf. Superman tried to stop him, but Brainiac's force field made punching him about as effective as yelling at a wall. It took the Kryptonians of Kandor sacrificing themselves to finally give Superman the win. Brainiac is hella strong. He moves objects with his mind, controls machines like they're extensions of himself, and hits hard enough to make General Zod rethink his life choices. His body doesn't age, doesn't need food or sleep, and even if you destroy him, he can rebuild himself from a single line of code. If his green-skinned body isn't enough of a problem, his skull ship is a flying fortress filled with killer drones, reality-warping tech, and the occasional Doomsday weapon. For all his upgrades, he has weaknesses. Isolation made his immune system about as durable as wet tissue paper. Sensory overload fries his circuits. Cut him off his ship and he starts falling apart. But even if you beat him, don't relax. As long as even one piece of his code survives, Brainiac is never truly gone, just waiting to reboot and start his collection all over again. Amazo. Amazo's DC's ultimate cheat code, an android who doesn't just fight heroes, he becomes them. Built by Professor Ivo with absorption cells, Amazo's whole deal is, oh, you got powers? Now I do too. Superman's strength? Copied. Flash's speed? Downloaded. Batman's skills? Somehow also copied, gadgets and all. This walking copyright violation doesn't stop at one power at a time. Later models stack abilities like a broken RPG character. Green Lantern's ring? Recreated. Wonder Woman's lasso? Yep, that too. Basically, if you bring powers to the party, Amazo leaves with the whole buffet. His feats are straight up nightmare fuel. He's bodied the Justice League more than once, matched them power for power, and even punked cosmic threats by turning their powers against them. Unless the heroes outsmart him or exploit a copied weakness like kryptonite, he's nearly unstoppable. Amazo is the reason the Justice League has trust issues. Imagine the Justice League, but all in one body, no moral compass, and a serious case of robot rage. Doomsday. Doomsday is destruction given form. A living engine of annihilation, he doesn't just survive death, he evolves past it, ensuring that whatever killed him before will never work again. His most infamous achievement? Killing Superman in the Death of Superman storyline. His origins are as brutal as he is. Bertrand, a cold-obsessed geneticist, sought to create the perfect life form on prehistoric Krypton. He grew a baby in a test tube, exposed it to the planet's deadly conditions, let it die, collected its remains, repeated the process. Over and over, for years, until that infant was no longer an infant, but an unkillable monster, who slaughtered every predator on Krypton before turning on Bertrand himself. From here, Doomsday rampaged across the universe. He fought Darkseid to a standstill, massacred Green Lanterns, and destroyed entire civilizations. No one could kill him, only contain him. The people of Calaton thought they had succeeded by sealing him in a ship and hurling him into space. But that ship crash-landed on Earth, and when he woke up, he did what he did best. He tore through everything in his path until Superman stood in his way. Their battle ended with both of them dead. Of course, Doomsday didn't stay that way. His abilities make him one of the deadliest beings in existence. His strength rivals Superman, and his body is nearly indestructible, covered in razor-sharp bone protrusions. He can regenerate from any injury, adapt to any attack, and even develop new powers to counter specific threats. Fire breath, energy projection, even intangibility bypass. Whatever it takes to kill his enemies, he'll develop it. And worst of all, he hates all life. Not because of some grand ideology, but because his entire existence has been pain, and he wants the universe to feel the same. Eclipso. Eclipso isn't just your average supervillain. He's literally God's ex-wrath, fired from heaven for taking divine vengeance way too seriously. Imagine Lucifer meets Ghost Rider, but with a black diamond and a rage problem. Originally an angel named Galid, Eclipso went full dark mode and got sealed into the heart of darkness. Now he possesses unfortunate hosts like a demon Uber and dishes out wrath with the subtlety of a nuke. This guy's power levels are no joke. He can blast you into atoms, fly, tank hits like it's nothing, and warp reality when he's really feeling spicy. He's got magic and a killer sword that literally once cut the moon in half. Oh, and did we mention he once stabbed Superman like he was poking a juice box? Eclipso's resume includes soloing the Shadow Pact in Day of Vengeance, and that's like showing up to Comic-Con and winning every cosplay contest and a UFC title. In ancient times, DC mythology style, this guy caused the Flood. Yes, that one. Biblical level chaos. And even in the modern era, when the eye of Eclipso starts glowing, you know things are about to go full apocalypse core. Superboy Prime. Superboy Prime was a Superman fanboy turned cosmic menace. Born on Earth Prime, a world where superheroes were just comic book characters, he was raised as Clark Kent, never knowing that he was actually Kal-El. His powers kicked in when Halley's Comet passed, and before he could even get used to them, Earth 1 Superman showed up and dragged him into Crisis on Infinite Earths. After the battle, he got locked in a paradise dimension with Earth 2 Superman, Lois Lane, and Alexander Luthor Jr. At first, he was chill. Then he got bored. Then pissed. He punched the wall of reality so hard that he rewrote history. Literally. When he finally escaped, he went on a rampage, tearing through the Teen Titans like wet paper. He punched Panthera's head off, ripped off Risk's arm twice, and vaporized Connor Kent. The Flash family trapped him in the Speed Force, but he escaped years later, stronger and angrier. Now rocking the Yellow Sun-powered suit armor, he fought 2 Supermen at once, survived a Guardian of the Universe exploding, and went toe-to-toe with Monarch. His powers were insane. Light-speed flight, planet-shattering strength, invulnerability to kryptonite and magic, and heat vision that could melt Superman. Weaknesses? Not many. Not kryptonite, no magic. Red sunlight weakens him, but his real flaw? He's a man-child. He throws tantrums when things don't go his way, has a pathological need to be recognized, and fears speedsters after the Flash has locked him up. Superboy Prime wasn't just overpowered. He was DC's ultimate what-if. A Superman who never learned restraint, never grew up, and was convinced he was the real hero. And that made him one of the scariest threats in the multiverse. Barbados. Barbados is the heavy metal album cover that came to life and decided to destroy the multiverse for fun. Originally built by the World Forger to be a cosmic janitor, aka sweeping away failed worlds, Barbados said, nah, and went full evil overlord. Now, he rules the dark multiverse, aka the spooky basement of the DC Omniverse, where nightmare visions of heroes chill. By chill, I mean scream eternally in fear. He's also Batman's true father in a deeply cursed way. Legend says he's the bat that inspired Bruce Wayne's origin, which is poetic and terrifying. In Dark Knight's Metal, Barbados rolled up with the squad of Twisted Batmen, aka the Dark Knights, wrecked the Justice League, and tried to drown Earth in his villainous playlist, literally called anti-music. Yeah, he weaponizes bad vibes. Power-wise, Barbados is cracked. He's tanked god-tier hits, blasts people with dark lightning, drains life, and corrupts matter with dark metals like it's glitter. He bodied Superman and Wonder Woman at once, murked his own creator, the World Forger, and almost shredded the Source Wall, the boundary of the multiverse, with sheer evil magic. He is what happens when a Lovecraftian horror binge watches Black Sabbath music videos and decides to rewrite existence. Darkseid. Darkseid is the ultimate cosmic tyrant. Born Uxas of Apocalypse, he started out as a mere mud grubber, resentful of the old gods ruling over his people. Instead of bowing to them, he whispered poison into their ears, turning them against each other. As they fought, he struck them down one by one, absorbing their power and becoming the god of evil himself, Darkseid. From that moment, he had one goal: absolute domination. But even ruling Apocalypse wasn't enough. He wanted to reshape existence itself, and to do that, he needed the anti-life equation, a formula that erases free will, turning all life into his mindless slaves. His rival with Highfather of New Genesis split their world into two. New Genesis, a utopia, and Apocalypse, a fiery hellscape under Darkseid's iron rule. But he didn't stop there. He conquered Earth 2, destroyed Earth 3's crime syndicate, and waged war on the multiverse. Even death couldn't hold him. When the Spectre reduced him to ashes, he came back. Darkseid's power is ridiculous. He's strong enough to fight Superman, Orion, and even the AntiMonitor. He crushed Green Lantern rings in his bare hands, took a punch from the pre-crisis Supergirl, and sent Superman flying into the Source Wall. His Omega beams disintegrate anything they hit, unless he wants to do something worse, like trap someone in an endless nightmare of pain. He's immune to almost everything, from kryptonite to reality warping, and doesn't get tired or age. Even scarier, his true form exists beyond the multiverse. Most of the time, Darkseid we see is just an avatar. The real Darkseid is an unstoppable cosmic force that bends gods, heroes, and entire realities to his will. No matter how many times he falls, he always comes back. Imperx Prime. Imperx Prime is basically the cosmic Grim Reaper with Wi-Fi. He's not here for your petty Earth drama. He's here to end the universe, drop a Big Bang remix, and bounce. He is the embodiment of entropy. He has a PhD in thermonuclear cosmology and hated clutter. He first showed up like a souped-up robot from the World Forger, but surprise, he was actually a god-tier energy being hiding inside that armor. Once he peeled off the training wheels, it was game over for entire civilizations. He straight up deleted planets like Karna and Daxam, hollowed galaxies like they were donuts, and left entire star systems ghosted. On Earth, his war world city came with hollowers that dug through Kansas like it was Swiss cheese. And when Superman and Doomsday tried to stop him, Imperx turns Doomsday into a literal skeleton. Superman barely made it out with plot armor intact. Imperx can blast galaxy-level beams, warp gravity, and create or destroy matter like he's playing with Legos. His armor makes him nearly invincible. Only a boom tube plus anti-life equation combo could take him down. If you hear his name, you're probably already Atoms. Mandra. Mandra is basically your cosmic librarian who gets too deep into the lore and turns into a multiversal vampire. Formerly Dax Novu, the first monitor, he gazed too long into the metaphysical abyss, saw that the multiverse was alive, and decided that he was going to eat it. The other monitors went full HR, booted him into the overvoid. But like any good horror villain, he came back, worse, hungrier, and dripping with black energy as Mandra, the Dark Monitor. Now he lurks in the spaces between realities, feeding on the bleed, which is basically multiversal blood, and draining the life force of other monitors like he's sipping high-end cosmic wine. Mandra doesn't just fight heroes, he unwrites them. In Superman Beyond, he killed Monitor Zillow Vala and tanked hits from Superman. His powers? Multiversal vampirism, regeneration, god-level durability, and energy projection that melts plot armor. In the unexpected, he casually drained villains, consumed the hero Neon the Unknown, and basically turned reality into his all-you-can-eat buffet. He's the final boss of metaphysics. If Darkseid's death and Barbados his fear, Mandra is the void, the literal collapse of meaning. Trigon. Trigon is basically what happens when you mix Satan, a cosmic horror, and a very, very bad parent. This six-eyed demon lord is a universal tyrant who has spent centuries conquering universes, enslaving entire species, and occasionally trying to use his daughter, Raven from the Teen Titans, as a living portal to consume Earth. Classic evil dad behavior. He was born when a group of pacifists dumped their evil into another dimension, and an alien cult was unlucky enough to summon it. The moment he came into existence, he murdered his own mother and everyone around him. By 6 years old, he had destroyed his home world. By 30, he had conquered multiple universes. Trigon doesn't just commit war crimes, he is a war crime. His power level is completely absurd. He can reshape planets just by thinking about it, knows what you're planning before you do, and can't be killed because he just regenerates. His magic is limitless, making him immune to opposing spells, and he can manipulate reality like it's a plaything. If he feels like taking a stroll, he can shrink down to human size or tower over cities. His mind control ability lets him possess entire armies, and if he's feeling theatrical, he can engulf everything in darkness or hellfire. For all his godlike powers, Trigon's biggest weakness is his own arrogance. He underestimates his enemies and lets his ego blind him to threats. In some versions, he can't travel between universes unless he's born into them, which is both horrifying and weirdly bureaucratic. Still, for all his cosmic evil, he keeps failing at the one thing that should be easy, raising a single daughter. Dr. Manhattan, aka DC's blue-skinned existential crisis in a Speedo. Originally from Watchmen, he was yeeted into mainline DC continuity during Rebirth and Doomsday Clock, where he casually rewrote reality like it was a group project he didn't like the vibe of. And yes, he's technically a supervillain here, but like a philosophical one who deletes decades of history because he's curious. Manhattan's powers are less superhero and more walking cosmic glitch. He controls matter and energy at a fundamental level, turning people into dust, rebuilding himself from atoms, and bending reality with the emotional investment of someone rearranging furniture. He doesn't age, breathe, eat, or really care, and he perceives time non-linearly, meaning he already knows how this paragraph ends. Feats? Oh, he's got feats. In Doomsday Clock number 10, he wipes out the entire Justice League in seconds after reforming his body post-disintegration. When Captain Atom nuked him, Manhattan responds instantly and goes full Thanos without the glove. He also meddled in Flashpoint, quietly erasing 10 years of the DC timeline to create the new 52, just to see what happens. That's not a retcon, that's a flex. Let's not forget his Watchmen moment, casually disarming the world's nuclear arsenals in number 12 because the Cold War's boring now. Manhattan isn't a villain who fights, he's a god who observes until he decides he's bored, and then you're toast. In short, Dr. Manhattan's what happens when quantum physics gets moody and takes human form. The League fights evil. Manhattan edits the universe and shrugs. Good luck punching that. Nekron. Nekron is the ultimate cosmic party crasher. As the embodiment of death, he commands darkness, revives the dead like a horror movie villain on steroids, and generally hates anything that breathes. He rules a bleak dimension between hell, limbo, and purgatory, where souls wait to be sorted into the afterlife, like a very depressing DMV. Since he gets stronger from the dead, he constantly schemes to boost his soul count like a Grim Reaper on commission. His first real shot at breaking into the world of the living came when Krono, an immortal scientist turned energy being, stumbled into his domain. Nekron, never one to waste a cosmic loophole, used this paradox to create an undead army and launched an attack on the Guardians of the Universe. His forces managed to wipe out some Guardians, wreck the Green Lantern's central battery, and generally ruin everyone's day. Unfortunately for him, Hal Jordan refused to stay dead and led a rebellion into the afterlife, sealing Nekron back in his dark dimension. Nekron's powers are as terrifying as they sound. He controls darkness, fires death lightning, and can instantly snuff out or restore life. His touch alone chills mortals to death, and he commands an army of undead puppets who keep their personalities but answer only to him. If that wasn't bad enough, he could bend reality, shrink universes, and tank attacks from the AntiMonitor like they're mosquito bites. The only reason Nekron isn't ruling everything right now is that he needs a link to the living world. Without something like a space-time tear or a conveniently doomed mortal, looking at you, Blackhand, he's stuck lurking in the shadows, plotting his next mass resurrection party. Krono. Krono is what happens when a cosmic scientist gets way too curious and decides to break the universe for science. As one of the original Guardians of the Universe, he just had to see how the cosmos began. But instead of a TED Talk, his experiment caused a reality-breaking explosion that spewed evil across the multiverse. For his crimes against existence, Krono was basically exiled, transforming into living entropy, and became the cosmic version of "you had one job." This guy doesn't just throw punches, he unravels dimensions. And the JLA Avengers crossover, Krono went full Thanos on caffeine. He destroyed entire universes with his entropy probes, murked Galactus like a space mosquito, and tried to fuse the DC and Marvel universes into cosmic soup just to get some answers. And yes, it took both the Justice League and Avengers tag teaming to slow him down. Krono's powers? Off the charts. He controls limitless energy, time, space, and entropy itself. He can casually destroy Earth, manipulate the flow of history, and rip secrets out of cosmic gods just because he needs to know. He's immortal and has cosmic awareness. Debuting in Green Lantern number 38, Krono's been DC's Curiosity Killed the Cosmos cautionary tale ever since. Moral of the story? Some doors are better left unopened, especially when they're holding back universal doom. Parallax. Parallax is the embodiment of fear, a terrifying parasite entity that spreads paranoia, turning entire civilizations against themselves. Born when the first insect on Earth felt fear, Parallax has since evolved into a malevolent force capable of possessing hosts and consuming worlds in hysteria. Even the Guardians of the Universe, beings who faced every cosmic threat imaginable, fear Parallax's power. Originally, the Guardians trapped Parallax inside a containment unit on Maltus, hoping to keep his corruption sealed away. However, a group of thieves led by Larfleeze stole the container during their hunt for the Orange Lantern power battery. In a chaotic struggle between Larfleeze, his former crew, and the Guardian main hunters, most were slaughtered by the overwhelming power of the orange light of Aries. Realizing they couldn't reclaim Parallax, the Guardians struck a deal. The winner of the battle could claim the orange power battery and control the Vega system as long as they never left its borders. Larfleeze emerged victorious, transforming into Agent Orange, and as a gesture of good faith, handed over Parallax's prison. The Guardians then made the catastrophic decision to imprison Parallax within the Green Lantern's central power battery. This fusion created the infamous yellow impurity, making Green Lantern's rings weak against yellow and allowing Parallax to influence generations of lanterns. Parallax's abilities are fueled by fear. He grants his hosts overwhelming power, allowing them to generate energy constructs like the Sinestro Corps' lantern. His mind control abilities let him manipulate entire populations into terror-fueled obedience. When Sinestro unleashed Parallax on Hal Jordan, Parallax overwhelmed him, proving his strength and speed were on a whole different level. More than just a monster, Parallax is fear incarnate, an ancient horror always waiting for the next weak-willed soul to possess. AntiMonitor. The AntiMonitor is the cosmic embodiment of destruction, the being responsible for Crisis on Infinite Earths, and the single biggest reason why your favorite hero might have died in the 80s. As the dark counterpart to the Monitor, he exists in the antimatter universe, where he conquered Quard and set his sights on the positive matter universe, because ruling one reality just wasn't enough for most of these DC villains. His campaign of annihilation began when a cosmic accident opened a rift between the universes, allowing antimatter to spread. He sent shadow demons to wreak havoc and manipulated Harbinger into assassinating the Monitor, thinking he had won, but the heroes fought back. Supergirl nearly took him down in a legendary battle, but she died in the process. Unfazed, he built a giant antimatter cannon to erase the last 5 universes. Barry Allen sacrificed himself to stop it, proving once again that speedsters are overpowered. The Anti-Monitor is one of the most powerful beings in the DC universe. He can rewrite existence itself, fire devastating energy blasts, and absorb entire universes to increase his power. His immense strength allows him to battle Superman and the Spectre, some of the most powerful beings in the DC universe, at once without breaking a sweat, and he can manipulate time to rewrite events as he pleases. His Shadow Demon army serves as an extension of his power, which he can absorb to recharge himself. Even when destroyed, he always finds a way back. In the end, it took Earth 2 Superman, Superboy Prime, and Alexander Luthor of Earth 3 to finally defeat him. But like all good villains, he doesn't stay dead. He later became the Sinestro Corps' guardian, wielding a Black Lantern ring, and keep finding new ways to make existence miserable for everyone. The Anti-Monitor doesn't just destroy planets, he deletes universes. Because sometimes being a villain means thinking bigger. Perpetua. Perpetua is basically DC's cosmic stage mom, except instead of pushing her multiverse to be a star, she tried to remake all of reality in her own doom-laced image. She's a super celestial handpicked by the Source itself to birth the entire DC multiverse. And she did, until she decided, nah, let's turn this multiverse into a nightmare empire, and went full goddess gone wrong. This ain't your average villain. Perpetua eats crisis events for breakfast and wields chaos energy like it's her personal Wi-Fi. She manipulated the very code of reality, restringing the multiverse using forces of doom, anti-life, and whatever dark energies DC writers could name. She turned Earth 3's population into apex predators, which were basically Super Saiyan murder hybrids, casually erased universes like she was cleaning out her inbox. The Justice League tried to stop her. The Monitor, World Forger, even Cosmic Titans couldn't land a scratch. It literally took the Darkest Night, Batman Who Laughs jacked up on crisis juice to bring her down. And even he needed to steal her power first. Her final boss arc runs through Dark Knight's Death Metal, where she plays God with every atom of the DC cosmos. She's so powerful that even her origin is hidden in myth, though first hinted all the way back in Green Lantern number 40. Bottom line, If the multiverse had a mom, Perpetua grounded it for not being evil enough and nearly rewrote all of reality to suit her vibes. The Darkest Night. The Darkest Night is what happens when Batman, the Joker, and Dr. Manhattan get tossed into a cosmic blender and set to apocalypse. Originally, the Batman Who Laughs, which was already a nightmare by the way, he leveled up after hijacking Manhattan's god-tier powers via brain transplant surgery and transformed into being a pure black void. As the Darkest Night, this guy didn't just want to win, he wanted to remake the multiverse into a twisted horror show called The Last 52, where every Earth was a nightmare version. He slurped up the Speed Force, hijacked all the anti-crisis energy meant for the heroes, and literally punked the source itself. Imagine rewriting the laws of existence just because you're in a bad mood. He went toe-to-toe with Perpetua and casually yeeted her into the source wall like yesterday's trash. And when the Justice League stood up to him, he folded them like origami. The only thing that stopped him was Wonder Woman unlocking her inner god mode, and even that required shoving him into a Death Sun. I guess because regular sun just doesn't cut it anymore. With reality warping darkness powers, cosmic awareness, immortality, and a wardrobe that screams goth multiversal warlord, The Darkest Night is easily one of DC's most overpowered villains. And it just goes to show again and again that if Batman has prep time and an evil Joker smile, no universe is safe. The Great Darkness. The Great Evil Beast, aka the Great Darkness, is basically DC's final boss if the concept of evil itself got up one day and decided, nah, too much light in this multiverse. Born as the dawn of the Omniverse, before your favorite gods were even ideas, this shadowy behemoth is the original force of entropy, nihilism, and cosmic emo. It's not evil in the Joker sense, it's the actual absence of light, the yin to the presence's divine yang. Their divine clash was so intense, it nearly KO'd all of existence, like a celestial rap battle that left creation itself shook. It screamed once at the dawn of time, and boom, the multiverse fractured like cheap glass. It's not a metaphor. That's its origin story. Powers? Oh, just your typical outerverse tier nonsense. Omnipresence, omniscience, immortality, full reality manipulation, and the ability to corrupt anything with a vibe darker than Tumblr in 2012. Its darkness is so thick, the light itself dims in its wake. It doesn't even need to show up in person. Its vibes alone have led to multiversal meltdowns and demonic uprisings. Major moves include inspiring ancient cults, influencing every crisis-level event, and being the cosmic shadow puppet master behind villains like the Demons 3. Though first glimpsed in Swamp Thing number 49, this unknown force still haunts the background of DC's biggest metaphysical showdowns. TLDR, if the multiverse had a fear of the dark, this is why. And that's a wrap. From multiversal parasites to literal forces of darkness, DC's villains just keep getting wilder and way more overpowered. Did your favorite cosmic menace make the cut? Or do you think someone else deserves a spot in the top of the food chain? Drop your takes in the comments below. We love a good villain debate. And hey, if this trip through chaos and destruction entertained you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and smash that notification bell so you don't miss the next deep dive into the madness of the DC universe. Until next time, keep an eye on the shadows.